Hi, hello, my name is Naomi, and this is step 4 of how to train your dog to do a perfect heel. This is also the final step. We've gone on a long journey together, but this is the final one. Have fun. Step 4, we're going to go from our hand up to our hand here. And this is probably the most difficult step, so I want you to really, really take your time for this last one. This is the most difficult one, okay? So, we're going to start with our corners again, which means we're going to need our placemat again. I've called this thing like 15 different things in this video. I know, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put it down. We're going to get them in that position. And the first thing you're probably just going to want to do is, before you start turning, is put your hand here and make it so they're still looking up, right? Your dog is probably just going to have a natural reflex to follow your hand over here. Well, we don't want that anymore, okay? We're still going to reward them from this hand, but we want them to learn to look at our eyes. So just start with standing still. Your hand is up here. Put your hand back and reward them. Reward them for still looking up, okay? Once your dog can do this, you can then start practicing at walking with your dog looking at you. So I'm still going to have treats. If you want, you can also switch your treats, but I don't know, I like keeping it in the same hand. Right, you're going to do the same as before. You're just going to make your movement and you're going to wait for them to follow you behind. So I'm going to do this. And he already knows how to do this. For your dog, it might take a minute, a second or two, but you're going to wait until they do that. Okay? So again, I even usually don't have to have treats in my hand for this one. I'm going to make my movement. He looks up. There you go. And he gets rewarded once he does that. Oh, come on, there you go. So you see that my reward also comes a little bit later now in this step. That's normal. Before he was constantly being rewarded. With my hand up, he was being rewarded a little bit less often. Now he's only getting rewarded the second he does the movement. The reward is still always there, and that's very important. I'm never not going to reward him, because once I stop rewarding him, he's going to stop working for me. Okay, that's how a dog is. All right? Again, really take your time for this one. Do a lot of just your dog standing next to you and just work on their attention. Right? Work on them not being fixated on this hand anymore, because that's difficult. It's the most difficult step to do. Okay, so just have them stand next to you, reward them, put your hand down, and reward them the second they look up instead of at this hand. Do a lot of that. Once you can do that, you can try your corner. Right? Again, first on the placemat, and then you get rid of the placemat again. Right? And then it's exactly the same as step 2 and 3. The second your dog can do it on the placemat, he can also do it off of it. So I'm going to put my dog in position. There you go, buddy. My hand is going to be here. He's looking up. That's looking good boy. I'm going to do the same movement. And he's going to learn to follow my eyes instead of my hand. So like this. As you can see, he was a little bit slower on that one. That's okay. This is new for him too. Supposed to be. Right? So I turn, and he turns along with me. As you can see, he still has the urge to go back a little bit. That's why sometimes in this step, I start rewarding from my other hand, so he doesn't do that. Or I keep my reward in my pocket. Because if my reward is here, it's normal that he will kind of go back to try and get that, because he knows he just did a good job, and he wants his reward. So a solution for that is either keeping your reward in your pocket, or giving from your other hand. You'll have to look at what works for your dog a little bit, okay? But again, your hand is down next to you instead of up here. You turn, and your dog turns along with you. And he gets his reward for that, obviously. Same thing goes with the other side. Your hands are down. You make your movement. There you go. Your dog goes with you, and you reward them immediately for that. Okay. As you can see, I've turned the camera away from away from the fence. That's because for the final part of this final step, I'm not going to use the fence. I'm just going to immediately walk in a straight line. Why? What we did in step 2 is we went, so can you go over there for a minute? Thank you. We went from here to here. And logically, what do you think? Well, now I'll go from here to here to here. But your dog is going to automatically follow your hand and take a step back, which is normal. That's a normal thing for your dog to do. But that's obviously not the position we want. So what I like to do is use, or what I did with him is I just got rid of treats completely and used shaping. What that means is I used my leash for this one. I'm not going to use force. I'm not going to hurt him or tug at him. Don't worry. What I did is I just held my leash in position where it should have been, a little bit shorter than I would normally, so something like this. So he is forced to kind of be close to me, and I just walked. Okay, and I did that for sometimes 5 to 10 minutes on end. And the only time I would reward him is when he would look up. Okay, now that's something he already knows how to do. That's something we already practiced. Don't go into this without your dog knowing what it is to look up, okay? Our treats are going to be in our pockets, and they're only going to come out once he looks at us. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to start a bit further back for you. So I'm going to hold my leash fairly short. I'm not going to pin him against my leg, but I'm just going to make sure he can't take too much space. And I'm just going to walk straight. That's right there. Good boy. There you go. And the second he looks up, my hand goes for the treat. It can also be this hand. That doesn't matter. My hand goes for the treat bag, and he gets rewarded. Okay, we're going to do it again. So I walk straight. That's a good boy. Good boy. That's a good man. Well done. And that's how you're going to cross over from your dog just walking next to you, looking at your hand, and being able to put your hand down. Okay, now there's a couple of ways to do this, but I found that is the best one, because he already knows how to walk in position. He's been doing it constantly while looking at my hand. He knows to look up. We practiced that just before with the corners. The last part was just to make that click in his head to, oh, I don't have to do anything with this hand anymore now. I just have to use what I learned, use that position, but actually look at my owner. Okay, but they're still going to get rewarded. It went very fast for me now. Again, that's because he already knows how to do this. I can't stress that enough. You're probably going to have a lot more struggles with it. You might have to walk for minutes on end. I know I did in the beginning of training him how to do this. I just walked around my yard for sometimes 10, 15 minutes, waiting for him to understand, all I have to do is look up. But then the second he did, I got my treats and I did my regular walking with the touch again to reward him for that, okay? And then obviously at the end of step 4, you also put your corners and your nice walk together. So that looks something like this. He's in my position. I use my treat to put him in that good position. I still do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to give him my command to heel. He's going to look up because he knows how to do that now. And I'm just going to add my corner. Skyler. Foot. There you go. Corner. Again. Go. And reward. And the same thing with your outside corner. Go. Foot. Outside corner. Yes, that's a good boy. And again, if you're struggling a bit with your corners, that's a very common mistake. Make sure you have a treat ready, right? And you can also definitely do it like this. So, I give myself my treat, and then for the corner, I still use my treat. You can obviously also build it up like that. Switch it out a lot. Go from treat to no treat again. Do your touch every now and then again to really upkeep that position. Be very patient, and in the end, with enough patience, with enough work, you're going to get a very nice result. Just be careful to not get angry at your dog. Again, it can be frustrating waiting for them to realize what they have to do. I know it can be. I went through with it. Don't out that on your dog. If it takes too long, just stop the session, try again tomorrow. But then the second they do it, the second they look up and they're in that position that they've learned, that they've been learning the whole 2 or 3 months or maybe even a year, then you really got to be happy for that. Okay, and then you also stop and you do your regular training until you can build it up to them doing a full walk with you looking up and with them not looking at your hand anymore. Okay, but trust me, that's the method I used, and that's what I think is the best method for teaching your dog. Final takeaways, I think I've mentioned a million times, just be patient. There is no shame in doing a step and then going back to the step before that to go back again, fluctuate between them, switch off. Sometimes I have a day where he's, for some reason, really not motivated, and then I also still have to use my treats to get him in that correct position again because for some reason he just doesn't want to that day. That's okay. That happens. These are living, breathing creatures, and you can't expect them to work like a robot, obviously. Have fun. Don't get angry in a training session. Don't get angry at your dog. There's no use in that. You're not going to teach them anything with it. You're just going to frustrate yourself. Dog training should always be fun. I hope I was a little bit clear, and I hope I helped some people in their step to getting a correct heel. Know that there is not one correct way of doing it. There's a million. But I found that this one is really effective, and also it's always positive, and it's a fun way of teaching your dog a heel, which is, for me, very important. And I have also seen it be successful with a lot of dogs. That was step 4 of how to train your dog, how to do a heel. And to kind of reiterate what I was saying at the end there, because I think I was a little bit chaotic with it, it's important to, even though you can now do a full heel without your dog needing to look at your hand, every now and then you should maintain step 2 and 3. They're still important for your position, for your dog's speed, especially in the corners. It's important that you still do them every now and then, just as maintenance, okay? You can't expect a perfect heel 24/7. Dogs don't work like that. People don't work like that either. So every now and then, just go back to step 2 and 3, do them again, and then the next day you can do your perfect heel again. All right. I'm very glad you went on this journey with me. I hope you learned something. I hope your dog learned something. And mainly of all, I hope you had a whole lot of fun. And I did film an outro for this on the field, so we're going to go back to that. So I hope it was a little bit clear. I hope my instructions were clear. I hope I wasn't confusing and all of that. If I was, leave a comment. I'll try to explain it again. I can only do so much through a video. It's always better to have really face-to-face training. But hey, I did my best. Yeah, let me know in the comments if there's something else you want me to explain to you. Another thing that you really want to teach your dog that you just don't know how. I have taught him a lot of things. I probably know how to help you a little bit. And I'm also very happy to do so. So with that, give your dog a hug. Go reward them, even though they did absolutely nothing. Go give them a hug. Doesn't matter. Have fun. And I'll see you around.